When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Well, hello, and welcome to the old Riffs on the Riffs, where we're going to take an intergalactic journey and maybe have a heart attack.
Riff Nation, K Pasta, what is going on?
K Pasta.
Yes, all of that. Happy to be here in front of you all. Joe, it has been a while. It feels like a long time.
It's been too long.
It's been way too long. And I, for one, am happy to be talking about all the things, music, so that we can riff away. Yes, this episode is definitely music that you might hear if traveling or with the Star Trek or Star Wars, or maybe even Pigs in Space if you're a Muppet fan.
My God, did you just drop that reference? Pigs in Space. Wasn't that how it was?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. But I gotta say, man, this track today is just, it stirred up a lot of feelings in me, a lot of discussion.
Yeah.
I'm so ready to get into it. So, for a change, Joe, why don't you tell the good people?
I see what you're doing here. You're like, I don't know all this Frenchy stuff. You just do it. So be it, Tobe. The name of the band is Angine de Poitrine.
Okay.
I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the song is called Fabienk.
Fabienk.
Again, I think. I could be making these things up. But it's funny because the name of the band itself is essentially, French for what, like an angina, like a heart issue. So, but like a lot of things with this band, it's, there's a lot of tongue in cheek. There's a lot of fun stuff, including, I tried to wear like a, kind of an interesting shirt today. I see you're wearing your Out of This World shirt as well. So
yeah,
it's all on brand. I think probably the best, well, I don't know. One of the things I love of what they've stirred up with all the world is like the comment section in their videos and in their songs is just so good. And it restores my faith in humanity. So we'll get to all that. But Tobe, I just want to know, like, you heard this, right? I sent it to you and I teed it up and I said, you might hate it. And you wrote back and you were like, man, I think you said this is dope or whatever. What did you really think, Toby?
Well, it was interesting, but you sent it to me twice. The first time you sent it to me was the Spotify track, and then you sent me another link like immediately after that was like, hey, this is them live. Yeah. And so I skipped to the live. Like I just skipped to the live, and I said, wait a minute, there's a reason why he sent it to me, because I feel like if you had sent it to me, if you sent the live version, you wouldn't have sent the Spotify track. Correct. I feel like you would have been like, no. So I automatically went to the live version of the track, and I'm watching and I'm just like, okay. And it's a little bit, it's an interesting start, but you only have two musicians. You only have two musicians. And I'm like, okay, like we talk about, what's the group called? Krungban?
Krungban, yeah.
Yeah. And
I thought you were going to say Kraftwerk, which.
No. But, Krungban only has three, musicians, but they still bring the sound. So I'm like, okay, I'm very curious to see how this is going to work. And it's probably one of the best ways to describe it, in my opinion, is like one of those multi-layered cakes. Like you put a knife through a cake and you see all the different flavors that are in it. It's like, oh, I thought this was just a vanilla cake or just a yellow cake, and it's got all these other layers.
It's got a lot of polka dots.
Yeah. They're weird. They're funky. They're very, very different. I think it'll be very, very hard to sit in an audience and watch them groove out and not nod your head at one point or another during the track. I mean, it's 7 minutes of just like, oh, holy night. I mean, these cats are, if there's one more change and I'm like, what are we? Wow. You know? And, so yeah, those are my thoughts. I will say this, watching them live, I thought was amazing. I thought that was awesome, but I really do like the Spotify track as well. To me, that was like the test. Like, okay, here's live. The Spotify track is like probably how they would really want, optimally want the listener to experience it maybe. But it still worked with me. And, I can see them performing live and just killing it, just doing all the things.
Oh yeah. Did you like it? Do you like it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do like it. I haven't listened to the entire album, but I listened to
it's more of the same.
Yeah. I guess when you get to this age, right? And we've met all different types of artists, and by now, my goodness, with as many years as we've put in this show, we've talked about all different types of artists as well. And so, questions come up. Hey, what is going on with these masks, these outfits? But you know what? It really I love the fact that you can just focus on the music. To me, like all the other stuff is just noise. And but if we get through the noise, it's just like musicianship. And that is what I truly care about. Like, who cares? Just bring it. And I even like the fact that, I don't even need any lyrics. And that was the other thing too. I like it because just like Krungban, to a certain extent, Krungban they do have some songs with lyrics in them, but a lot of their stuff is just, instrumental. I do like it that, I can almost vibe with this and just do other stuff while I'm listening to this. Like, I don't have to think about lyrics or whatever.
That is interesting because, what feeling when you listen to this track, what feeling, I don't even know if emotion's the right word, but what does it stir up? Because for me, I don't think I could have it in the background because there's it's almost like an agitator. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but it just like, it stirs up this sort of like, this propelling motion, this like, I got to be doing something. It's almost like, again, not anxiety, but this is not something that I can put on as study music and just kind of have it going. So how's it land for you?
Well, I was working out, listening to this. So
I can see that.
That's a little bit different. Yeah. But oftentimes when I'm working out or doing something, I don't need to be as, mentally engaged per se.
Sure.
I'm just on the machines. I'm just doing bicep curls. I'm doing something. Sometimes my mind just drifts and I can actually think about other things and, think a little bit deeper. And I remember just in the middle of this, you had crafted up some questions, some stuff that we can riff about. And I was just kind of going through those questions while listening to this. And that worked because I feel like the way that these songs are connecting with me a little bit differently because I think we're all a little bit ADHD in a way. We're just like, just tangential with our thoughts and just going from one subject to the other subject, one thing, the show's called Riffs on Riffs for a reason. So
that's right.
I think it kind of connects in that way.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about it's actually, I want to jump back to, you said the Spotify version is, you could see, there's been some comments from various people saying, oh, you can tell that they have spent more time playing live than in the studio. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, these cats have been together for 20 plus years, so it's not like they haven't, and they've done other things. So I'm sure they've been in the studio a lot. But I do think that there is something that they could have maybe pushed a little bit more in the studio. Everybody's like, oh, it sounds too dry, right? So if you go back to the 70s and, especially when they were recording drums, everything, there was no reverb. Everything was just very tight, very like crisp, right?
Mm-hmm.
No air around it. And that's how I think the recordings are. So that snare is just really, right? I don't like the way that, like, the cymbals are kind of, it just could have been, I think, a little bit more of a sonic palette, and maybe they don't care, right? I mean, I think the mix is good. Again, to your point, when you only have essentially three instruments, right? Because the guitar players,
sure,
guitar and bass, and then the drums, and looping is a huge part of the entire thing. And they even talked about that being a beautiful thing and a beautiful constraint, because you're limited by what you can do. And it also forces you to think about things differently and to record differently and whatever. So, I don't know. I'll be curious to see in a couple of years when they come out with another album and maybe they have some, I don't know, more time, resources, whatever, to really explore what that could look like, what their sound might eventually be. Because to me, it still sounds like it's honed in, but it might be a little bit of a work in progress. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I hear that, but like you said, I mean, obviously with the changes that they do, I mean, if the rhythms that they are working with, I mean, you could think, I mean, the guitarist is hella talented. I mean, there's no
the drummer is too. They're really talented musicians.
I want to focus on the drummer for a moment. The drummer to me is insane. Like, you can take him for granted if you want, but the way that he changes up beats and rhythm, I challenge you to, anyone, to do that. That is not what he did. He put some work in, and I feel, again, just to lock in like they do for, these 7-minute tracks, just lock in and remember all the different changes. And I mean, you got to be thinking, like I said, the guitarist they're both just really, really talented. And I think that's the part that really stands out for me during a live performance is like, you got to get the loops just right. Then you got to remember all the different harmonies. And I watched it twice because I watched it with I made the family watch it.
Oh, I'm dying to know, what did they what did Lincoln say?
Oh, Lincoln was sleeping. I think, if there wasn't any food around, my dog does not care. So this is pretty much a wrap. Onyx went to the other room.
He couldn't take it. He was
there was a toy around. He's like, there's a tennis ball around here. I'm gonna find it. Shiv really enjoyed it. He really did. Yeah, I knew he would, because it has its funk elements, definitely, because of the beat change-ups. It has some jazz elements to a certain extent, but it's more funk than anything, I would say. But definitely weird, different. Kaj was not feeling it. Not at all. Like, I don't understand this. I don't know if I want to I don't want to buy any boxes of Cracker Jack to get the decoder ring so that I could possibly understand the message that's hidden in here. I don't want to drink any more Ovaltine or I don't need anything. I don't understand it. Yeah. So yeah, it was, but watching them live that second time, I was counting how many harmonies, that the guitarist was putting on. I'm like, man, he literally did 4 parts. I mean, you got the bass, then you have guitar part, then you have another guitar part, then you have another guitar part. And now he's riffing on top of all of that just with the noodle track. I'm like, woof. How do you do that? And then move to the next segment of the song. I mean, like, the number of foot pedals this dude has.
Well, and beyond that, the timing and the rhythms are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
People call it math rock because, I mean, I dare anyone on a first or 30th listen to count.
Yeah.
Go ahead, count along. Tell me where you land. Tell me where the one is, because what they're doing is they're adding so many different overlaying rhythms in the same track.
Mm-hmm.
And like, to your point, the drummer, I'm like, how is he? Like, it would take me a long time to just sit and dissect it and try to figure out, like, how do you even, and then, you can't even play along because I don't own a microtonal guitar. So that's the other thing that I think is fascinating, right? Western music, 12 notes, the scale, all the music we've been listening to, most of our lives has resided in that. But when you go to, Arabic music or Indian music, instruments like the sitar, you have spaces in between those 12 notes, right? Those microtones. And when you start playing in those like in between spaces, it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of wanted, I actually found, I'm like, oh yeah, I could like retrofit. I could just buy a neck and put it on one. Like, I'm not going to do that because I don't need another rabbit hole right now. But, but just opening or getting a fretless guitar where essentially it's like on you to find the spot.
Yeah.
And
scary.
It's scary. It's like, look, that's a hard enough instrument to play well in the first place. And now you're just going to start adding, and to your point, watching them play. I'm like, oh, these cats are good. Like they can bring it.
Yeah. So I guess we should say a little bit of information, I guess, about the group. They're formed in Quebec. They are, we don't know their real names, but they do go by Ken and Kleck.
Sounds good to me. I don't know how you pronounce KHN, but Ken's, I mean, Barbie would approve.
Yeah, it's and Skipper would too. But, yeah. So, I mean, if you got a moment, you should definitely take that moment and look them up and see the outfits that they have on, the masks that they wear. I mean, it is different. You're going to know them. They're unmistakable for any other group that's out there. That is for sure. It's polka dots. It's mask. It's big. They look, it's, one guy's barefoot playing the guitar. It's interesting. It's definitely something that's going to stand out, but the music is definitely different, man. It's a whole another thing.
We need something just to kind of shake things up. Just to kind of build on that. So I guess they met when they were like 13, 14 years old. They've been playing together for 20 years. And I think they've done everything from punk to stoner rock to whatever. And they just kind of landed on this brand. And even the origin story of the costumes and how they showed up, I think is awesome. So they're playing 2 shows in the same spot in the same week. And for whatever reason, they didn't think people would come to the second show if they knew it was the same band. So they're like, let's just make up a new band, but we can't show up as ourselves. And so whole outfits, paper mache, I love this just random, let's get ridiculous. And then that one random moment turns into this whole launch pad. And I'm here for it. To me, this is art, what art does and what it allows us to create in real time, and how that can just resonate with people. It's like this just random idea. And then it's like, boom, off we go.
I love it too. I think about, like, when you talk about masks and that type of creativity, the names that just come up, you've got, MF Doom, you have the guys from Kiss, you have that one, what was the name of that rock band that we talked about? We had an episode about them, and they do, like, their music is
Sleep Token.
You've
got Guar, you've got Slipknot. Yeah. There's,
so just, I mean, the list goes on, but I love it, especially with something like this, because it's like the older I get, the more I'm like, man, to be able to do what you do musically, say what you want to say, and be, have a certain level of anonymity so that you can walk the streets or go to Kroger and not have to deal with the nonsense. That's wonderful. That's freedom. I'm not talking about your keyboard warriors out there that say anything that they want to say, harmful things. I'm not talking about that, but in the form of music, I think that, in this kind of expression, I think it's pretty cool. And I totally get it. You could just be free to do what you do. And, you gotta love that. You gotta respect it.
Well, I love that because everybody we talked about just now with the masks is leaning into, either this kind of superhero or, maybe gore or not evil, but like scary stuff, right? Like we're developing these personas that are intense in those ways. Man, this is just goofy. And it's light and it's comical, but it's more absurdist, I would say, than comical. It's like, what is going on? Which combined with the music literally feels like it's these two things just came down from another planet and we're like, here, we're going to play some things that you put in front of us, Earthlings, and here's what it sounds like. And I love that. Oh my God, why can't it, who's the duo that does, Daft Punk, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing where it's maybe not quite as absurd, but it's anonymity in a way that is not leaning into anything other than a mask for mask's sake.
Yeah. No, you're right. It is goofy because, if you look at like Slipknot or Kiss or MF Doom, I mean, these are, it's serious, right? It's aggression. In this case, it's just like, yo, it's just weird. This is just weird. It's just different. We don't have to do this. We know this is extra. We know you only asked for a dime and we came with a quarter. We get it. Here, take it. It is what it is. But we're here to have fun. And we're and I also think that the music, this music was really designed, in my opinion, for live performance. This is not, I enjoy the Spotify rendition. I did, but I think it is designed for live performance. They need to be in front of a crowd for you to get the full experience. I feel, that's the way that they probably intended it. I think, you just do the best you can with the Spotify or, recorded version. And, and you just like, this is not the way that we'd want you to blah, blah, blah,
the beauty is it's probably super simple for them to go into the studio. Like, mic everything up, plug everything in. This is what we do all the time anyway. So, I'm sure they're just quote unquote live recordings. Cause why not? If you're doing it live all the time, then why change it up? So that brings a question to me, Toby. You get all the benefits, right? The anonymity, the living your life the way you want. But you kind of don't get the credit.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a human, right? Your alter ego gets the credit. Would you ever do that?
I know me well enough to say that I know that words of affirmation is like one of my love languages. I would need the credit. Now, that might not sound great, but I know me. I would need that. That's that's the kind of person that I am. If I need to stay motivated toward whatever, I think it would be cool for a little bit. I think, I already have, Haiku, the MC, and whatever. But I definitely, I would need that. I need the accolades.
Yeah, me too. I need the accolades.
Yeah.
But I think that the kind of a follow-up question is, what would that freedom allow you to do? Like, if you think about the way you live now, are there things that you can do better when, again, no one's watching or you don't feel the pressure of external forces?
I think you can be more innovative when no one's watching. I think when no one's watching, I think you could be more innovative because they're not. Yeah, I think when we see people, we put people in these categories or in these templates, like, oh, he's a tall guy, he plays basketball, or he's a this person, he probably this, or this person, he probably that. I think if it's anonymous, you don't know. Imagine if you're an employer and you're looking at a resume and the name doesn't really indicate whether the person is male or female. And you look at the resume differently. You do, like, this is interesting. Okay. And you look at the hobbies and you just can't tell, and it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. But your brain is trying to categorize who this person is, you're trying to read in between the lines and trying to fit something. That's what we do as humans.
I think
go ahead.
Well, just as humans, we have biases and we have pattern recognition. It's literally how our brain functions to move through the world. So if we had to reinvent everything all of the time, we wouldn't be able to get out of bed in the morning. So it is a natural human instinct that we have to kind of fight against in order to push back against some of those biases. So if you can remove them organically so they don't even factor in, then it's like it almost frees up your brain to not think about certain things and just focus on maybe what matters. So I think in this case, once you get past what is going on visually, you've got nothing else to focus on but the performance and the music that's coming out of it. Which I think there's a freedom attached to that. So.
Yeah. It's.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of ShopPay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
It's an interesting question, but you posed some of these questions before we got on. And it's like, man, I had to literally.
You got to think about them.
You had to think about them. I had to think about it. It's like, if I'm really being honest with myself, it's like, yeah, I kind of need the attaboy to let me know.
Yep.
I breadcrumb that to success. Is this all right? Is this acceptable? I think this is good. And there's with certain things that I don't care if you think it's good or not. This is what I got. I like it. And that's the most important thing, but other things, it's like, I'm trying something new here. I'm trying something different. I want to know you think other people would like this too? This is something different.
So I can't remember if we've talked about this or I've talked about this with my daughter, because two of you are probably my creative thought partners. But you just brought up this idea of breadcrumbs and hey, what do you think of this and whatever. But that's a dangerous game to play because you have a vision in your head or whatever. And if you share something in progress and people are responding to the thing in progress, they don't have access to that vision or what you kind of see that final output. And so it's this weird space where you're like, I want something to affirm this, so I will keep going at it. And I get reinvigorated and excited, and somebody else gets it. But it's also a dangerous place because somebody could shut it down immediately with an offhand comment. And you're like, oh, this isn't worth pursuing. So like, how do you navigate that? The breadcrumbs along the way.
Yeah. I think it depends. It depends. I've learned underground hip hop and, the beats I make or whatnot. It took a while for me to understand this, but, I've shared some of these beats I think are just dope with other people that are not, people I work with, people I'm friends with outside of music. And they've been like, oh man, Wow, that's
cool.
something. Yeah, that's something.
That's something.
Like, we mean it's something. Like, did you hear that? Do you see what I did? You see how I flipped that? Same thing with lyrics. It's like, sometimes when people don't get it, it almost pushes me even harder to approach it with even more vigor. Like, no, let me show, like, you don't get it. I'm going to show you how this is going to work. Like, I've done that with songs with Kaj before too. She's not the biggest hip hop fan, right? But I've said a verse. She didn't, she's like, okay, I don't know what that means, but it sounds nice. Like, okay, let me break it down to you slowly and then break every line. And then she's like, oh, dang. Okay. All right. That's a little different. Okay. Now that I've broken every line down, now I'm going to spit it to you how it's supposed to be, presented.
Sure.
And just like, so I'm one of those cats, I guess. And this is, one of my, I don't know, I guess it's a plus and a negative at the same time. If I get challenged with, somebody thinks I can't do something, or in my mind, I feel like they're thinking I can't do it. It's a turn on, it's like, oh, I'm going to show you. So, I mean, what about you? I think you're a little bit the same way in that regard.
Same way. It kind of depends, right? I think along the way I learned, to your point, don't share it with a random coworker who doesn't even listen to music. I think when I was a young cat, I would share it with friends, and then they would either flat out say, I don't like it, or I don't get it, or whatever. And then I come to find out, like, they don't even listen to music, or they listen to one very narrow genre that's so far away from what I'm creating. I'm like, what? Why do I even care about that opinion? But I care about the opinion. And so I have to be careful with sharing with somebody that I know they're going to, first of all, give it the time and attention. If I'm going to share something with you and I'm going to ask for feedback, then please just either say, I don't have time, or give it that attention. And yeah, somebody who's going to have some input because it's something they might listen to on their own, or at the very least, they're music curious and they're like, oh, that's, like, have something to say. So I do think you have to protect your sources, essentially, and say, who am I reaching out to and what am I hoping to get? And, yes, we both want accolades, but we also want real feedback. Like, if something isn't landing, or if it's not good, then tell me that too. Because that can prevent you from going down a rabbit hole that you shouldn't be going down, or going down a path, or pivoting and saying, hey, this didn't really land, but what about this? And you're like, oh my God, that's such a great idea. And then you go off in that new direction. So yeah, I think it's protecting your sources and knowing what you're asking for, and then being ready for that feedback.
It's interesting. You talk about, we talk about breadcrumbs. Obviously, breadcrumbs are, crumbs from the full piece of bread, right? It's not the whole thing. And I think, like you said, you protect your sources, you treasure and cherish the people that you can share part of the vision with, and they kind of understand, what it is, but, as creators, we get so excited at just the cake batter. I think when we give people a spoonful of cake batter, like, man, taste this. This is good. This is good. It's going to be good. It's like, yo, it's just cake batter. It's not done.
It's got raw eggs in it.
Right. What are we talking about? Salmonella. What are we doing? What are we doing here? So I feel like we need to, so that's one part. And the other thing too, is I look at charity or, good works, whether they be in the community or not. And there's like a rule, to me, if you want to give, I'm loaning you money, right? If it's money, it's $10, $15. I'm to the point right now, I don't have any expectation of getting it back. Like, I just, like, it's 15, it's a beer, it's 2 beers, it's drinks, it's dinner, whatever it is, just give. And that makes me feel a whole lot better than the other way of like, man, I got you. It's time for you to get me. It's like, well, with creativity and things like that, it doesn't quite work like that, especially if you have people that are not in the same creative lane that you're in. We're in 2 totally different lanes. And like you said, it's like, man, I'm looking for this person to appreciate the music. This person is special to me, or they are, I respect their opinion on so many other things. But when it comes to music, I'm looking for them to say, man, that's dope. But they don't even listen to music on any regular basis. Like, they're not, it's almost like asking someone to what do you think of our podcast when they're not even podcast people?
They don't even have the app on their phone.
They don't even have the app. They don't know where to look, you know? Now, that's not to say that we don't share. I think we do share, just without the expectation that anything's going to happen after that. I shared it. You saw cake batter. That was it. Here's the cake. I'm not expecting you to, to love it. I'm just sharing. And to me, and then that makes me feel a lot better when I do get people that say, man, I didn't know that you did that. Like, that's cool. And maybe you didn't know this about me, but I did this, and that just spawns a whole different type of conversation. I love that. So.
And I think that is the beauty of, Ken and Kleck, right, have been together for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. And so there's just, look, anytime you've been partnered with somebody for that long working on a craft, you're going to just intuitively connect, understand, be able to jive and create. And I think you and I our origins are probably different from a musical background, but we've always had a broad spectrum of things we've enjoyed, appreciated, listened to, and shared. And that's kind of how we, bonded, and our brotherhood sort of emerged from that.
Agreed.
And I know now, because you have a different lens on stuff, or I might have we can share those like snippets of stuff and say, here's an idea I'm working on. Mm-hmm. Here's the cake batter. Mm-hmm. And because we have a shared history and understanding, like, you're going to be able to understand what that finished cake might look like probably better than most people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the beauty of creative partnerships is now you can kind of bake the cake together, and it's like, you know what, that's really good, but let's add a little like orange extract or something to just give it a little hint of citrus or whatever. Like, there are additions and things that when you've crafted a long-term partnership with somebody, that just makes those things just either incrementally or exponentially better.
Mm-hmm. No, I would agree. It's, creative partnerships. And it's, I tell you what, when I looked at Ken and Kleck, performing, I mean, they're dope. I could tell that they've spent a lot of time together, but I also know, I'm pretty confident they've also played for other bands. I'm pretty confident they've done other types of music with other groups where their faces are known and they're, respected. And that kind of highlights a different part. It's like, man, when I feel, I'm pretty confident that when chefs are partnering with specific chefs in their kitchen, they come up with like, man, there's just certain people I can work with. I could be a little bit more creative. I'm going to go for this. And then with other people in my kitchen, I'm going to go for a little bit different flavor. It's just different. And I know musicians are the same way. If I'm working with Brandon, when I'm working with you, it's something, working with, Dave, it's, Brother Dave, it's just something different that's going to come from it. So I think as many they're like channels, right? It's like different channels, like ESPN Plus,
Oh God, right. Yes.
ESPN to sport this.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, they even say, like Kleck said, after 20 years playing together is more natural than talking even. Like, that musical language is probably more dialed in than maybe even their conversations. I don't know. But I think that, man, whatever I read about them just makes me appreciate them so much more. I'm going to give you some quotes just from them directly on who they are, right? We're not Lady Gaga. We're not Elton John. We're two random dudes. They have deliberately pushed back against, they had all the major labels knocking on their door. And they're just like, no, we just want to stay small. We don't want to open in large arenas because we've already booked these small shows, and we're going to respect that. When you've been doing this for 20 years and trying a lot of different things, at some point you're bound to put out something that's going to speak to a larger audience, which is a fascinating thing. Like, think about that journey. Mm-hmm. To your point, 20 years ago, what music were they making? And then how did it evolve and then become this sort of viral thing where 20 years later, it's like, who knew that this is what people would respond to, which is kind of crazy. Sometimes I joke around and say that we're good clickbait, but once people have clicked, they're satisfied with the thing musically speaking, well, good for us and good for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's just an understanding of, I think there's, they are not trying to be anything at all. They're literally just trying to make music that they enjoy. And I think you and I have talked about this on the pod. That's a lot harder to do than it sounds.
Yeah.
Just to hone in on say, no, this is what I want to make. And I hope it resonates, but also it's okay if it doesn't.
Yep. I mean, because to not care about, about how much people appreciate it, to truly not care is difficult, damn near impossible, because we make music, you're creative to share. I mean, we're not just making music just for me. Well, if I like this song, I can't stop listening to it and I made it. I want to share it with other people, and I would love for them to just get a, what they call secondhand smoke, right? From
Sure.
what I'm inhaling,
Yeah.
So, you want, but yeah, I love that. And sometimes I will say they've been playing for 20 years. So sometimes it takes that long, I would say, to truly get to evolve to that point and be like, hey, I don't care anymore. We're just doing what I do. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. It's cool.
And I wonder if kind of the absurdity of all of it is exactly what we need right now, which is part of why it lands. Kleck says in one of the interviews, it's only music. I'm not saving people's lives. I'm just playing drums. One comment on, because they had that whole viral moment on the KEXP show, which is probably what you saw or what I sent.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the comments was like, now there's a reason to live. And I was like, calm down, man. Go kiss your mother or something. That's a reason to live. It's like, yes, exactly. We are living in all of these charged times.
Mm-hmm.
And if it takes something like this, just calm down, people. Like, let's just get a little goofy. Let's just make some cool music.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just chill and maybe just start doing more of that instead of beating on each other all the time.
Yeah, we're constantly looking for the next viral sensation, just like, okay. And I mean, look, and we all fall into it from time to time. I mean, like when Olivia Dean came out, I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Oh my God, and it's like, okay, 6 months later, it's like, man, gorgeous music, fantastic album, and there's other artists out there. Here comes Sienna. Here comes Sienna, right? And then listen, they're like, oh my God. And Remy Wolf just came out with a single, and it's like, I mean, so life goes on, things change. It's all good. Relax, and we don't have to be polar. You don't have to say this is the best ever. We can just say you enjoy it. I mean, isn't that great? Instead of saying like, hey, what's your favorite food? Like we're getting a last meal on the 8 Mile.
Oh my God, right.
On the Green Mile, right? Instead of saying that, it's just like, yo, what do you enjoy? What are you in the mood for right now? Perfect. I can tell you what I'm in the mood for. Yeah, I'm in the mood for listening to Ken and Kleck do their damn thing right now. Perfect. Done.
So I mentioned the comment section. So people go listen to the music. And then this is 100%. Because like first one was, do you guys do weddings?
Really?
Do you imagine these dudes playing at your wedding?
No, that wedding march is messed up. Let me tell you that.
The other one was, I'm happy to see that my childhood imaginary friends are doing well.
That's great. I like that.
I showed this to my microwave. Now it's a microtone. The next Guitar Hero game is going to be an effing nightmare.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? Oh,
I played this for my cats and they began emptying the dishwasher and wiping the counters. My neighbor doesn't know it yet, but this is his new favorite band, which is just cruel.
Yeah, definitely.
My dad shared this with me yesterday. He died in 2018. So yeah, there's just like, I think it just allows people to lean into the fun of all of it and have a good time. Be goofy, man. It's be goofy. Yeah, 100%.
Laugh a little. It's all right.
Life's too short, man.
Agreed.
All right. But we did tee up some deep questions, Tobe. Which ones resonated with you?
Let's see here. I mean, I'm pretty much open to any of them, sir. Yeah. Where did you? Well,
let me pull up let's see what I had here. Ooh, I thought this was a good one because we were talking about looping and limits and things like that.
Yeah.
They force us to do things. And so I'm wondering, like, what's the best thing that came out of you not being able to afford kind of the right tool, for lack of a better word?
Yeah. Yeah. That was actually a very easy question because I remember this and I've suffered from this now. I mean, I make more money than I did when, 20 years ago when,
Sure.
first starting off as a producer and what have you. I would say that creativity definitely, suffers if you have like all the tools, in the world. You have all the money or enough money to buy different tools. I mean, I remember being just flat out broke and it's like, man, I don't like this record, but I have to make a beat. This dude's coming over and I'm going to have to make something dope out of this record. Now I have so many choices, and I just have a ton of choices. So it's, that part I think is interesting. I think that part is, I think creativity can suffer if you have just unlimited access or, more access than you need. Having less, sometimes you can do more with it.
Totally agree. In fact, I wrote down ingenuity, so I think we were on the kind of the same page there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think what it also does is it tees up an appreciation for the right tool at a later date. Like if you're trying to figure something out and you kind of cobble it together and then someday you've got a little more and you're like, okay, I can get the thing now. It doesn't just become a thing that sits on your desk or you don't use. It just becomes like, I was really looking forward to it and I'm excited about it.
Exactly. You had a question here for like an unforced rule that you follow, right? What's your unforced rule that you follow? If no one's there to enforce it, what's this rule that, you follow automatically?
Perfectionism. I think that regardless if somebody's watching, I overdo things. Not that you've ever noticed that.
Not at all. I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah. And that stems from lots of places and it's, in some ways it's helpful. In some ways it's a huge, impediment. And so I try to get better at picking my spots and being okay with things just being, look, this doesn't need to be like, not all the parts need to be perfect. Like let it go and pick your battles. And I think, I don't know if this is true, but I think it sometimes is even more daunting when I'm doing it by myself, when nobody's watching.
Sure.
Because especially if there's going to be an expose of a project or something, it's like, I don't want somebody to go, it's almost like I have to defend my work before I even present it. And so I've thought through all the things to say, well, here's the rationale for it and whatever. And I don't know if some of that's just a function of being an artist, being, trained as a designer where you just you're constantly putting your work out there for people to pick apart and whatever. And so it's like you had to think about it. So now I overthink about it all the time. How about you?
I think the rule that I follow, that I enforce when no one else is doing it is you are what you do. You are what you do. And for me, it's like, okay, and again, this becomes problematic for people that try to fit, 40 things in one 24-hour period, 24-hour day period. But, being a musician, it's like I create music. I'm a manager. I manage people. I'm a recruiter. I am a father. Okay. If you don't do those things, if you don't practice, you're not necessarily that thing, for songwriters, you gotta write a song. If you haven't written a song, you were a songwriter. What you are is something else. And I'm trying to, now I think the struggle is it's okay to let some of that go. Like you don't have to do all those things because I want to get good maybe at just these two things, or maybe like put most of it in this because I have talent here. I got talent here, but I want to get really good at this. How do I get really good at that? Well, you got to spend less time on these other things. Was talking to my good friend Claudine, AKA Claude.
I was like, you talked to Claudine? Oh, okay.
Shout out to Claudine. And we came up with this idea that the struggle is the load-bearing beam for success, right? That the actual struggle is that load-bearing beam. Like without that struggle, without that evolution, you don't have success. You're not gonna have it, or at least not the self-fulfilling success. Like, man, I'm confident, because I think that having success, if it's given to you, doesn't necessarily breed confidence. Having success that is born of struggle breeds confidence.
Yeah, I mean, they always say you don't learn from your successes, right? You learn from the failures. But I had never thought about, do you gain confidence from the successes? And I think all of us in some way suffer from imposter syndrome. So I do think that once we get to success, we're like, I don't deserve it. I'm a fraud, whatever it is. So I'm gonna have to ponder that one. That's an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one. What did you start as a bit that you now take seriously?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what your answer is for this, but on mine, you know what? So Brandon and I, when we went to a show some years ago, we saw this MC by the name of Camus, from the Megahertz crews, RJD2,
yep.
Copyright, all them cats. And he, in the middle of the show, right, he did something to kind of get the crowd hype. I won't say exactly what he says, but this is, but this is like,
show.
Hey, right. He's like, what's up, mofo? What's up, mofo? What's up, mofo? What's up, mofo? And he just said it over and over and over again. And the crowd just got hyper and hyper and more hype. And we love that part. And it's like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. And so it was a joke. Like the next time we performed, we just, we're hyping each other up backstage. Like, what's up, mofo? What's up, mofo?
Sure.
And it was just a joke. And now we do that every time. This is what we do. And sometimes if it's been a while since we performed, we will do it, on stage. Like,
sure,
crap, we're out here.
Well,
hold up, before their first song, what's up? Let's go.
Yeah.
And we get it in. So I love that part. Yeah.
Get
what
hyped.
About you?
Total random funny thing. Like, this is again going back 20 years probably at this point. I got a buddy who we just decided that we would, I think we just bought a mega ticket one day, and we're like, all right, you get a ticket, I'll get a ticket. If either one wins, we'll split it.
There you go.
And then this has become, there is a rule book, right? Like, if I don't get my ticket, if I get it after 3 p.m. on the day, I can't text them, right? I still have to share it. If I win, but he didn't get a ticket, then I can.
It's all you.
It's all me. We decided, we've agreed on that we'll throw each other, I'll give you $1 million, but you didn't buy a ticket. You had fair time. So we don't get to split it, but I'm not going to leave you cold. Right. Like there are, and he's this kind of guy too, right? Like he's got a whole, like I'm sure that there is a literal Mega Millions lottery Bible written somewhere. And we just think so we do take it very seriously, and we're looking forward to someday sitting on a talk show couch and just being the two dudes that have had a long trail of you didn't have to share it. Yeah, we did. It's in the rules. What are we doing? We take this seriously. So yeah, that's a fun one, which I hadn't thought about till just now.
Yeah.
So we are, last one maybe. We are men of a certain age.
Sure.
I'm going to do this as a two-parter. So what did you want to be at 13, and how far is that from what you're doing now? Because I'm going to guess you didn't say at 13. Maybe you did. I don't know. I'm not going to. You go, Tobe.
I definitely didn't say at 13 I was going to be an insurance guy.
I didn't think so, but.
No. 13. I knew I wanted to be, a musician of some type. I wanted to be an artist. So I just loved the whole point of being creative and, all of the things. So definitely, although I do music, I would say, a derivative of that is, doing motivational speaking. So I enjoy that. I still get a lot of that same energy out, the energy, input and output, from being on stage and doing motivational speaking. So it's a derivative. It's still performing. So yeah. What about you?
When I was 13, I wanted to be a Disney animator. That's part of the, kind of when I went down the path that I did. But, and I also really loved performing. So I think in fact, back in the day, our high school the 8th grade was part of the high school. So I was the only 8th grader to be in a high school musical, which I always thought was kind of a badge of honor. But and that's where I caught the bug, man. I was just like, okay, I love being on stage. And to your point, I do tons of facilitation and public speaking and would love to, when the book is out, do some motivational speaking around that. So that part is still there. And I want to go back to kind of something you were saying about you can't say you're the thing without doing the thing. Mm-hmm. And people always say when you are trying to quit smoking, you stop referring to yourself as a smoker. Are you a smoker? No, I'm not a smoker. It doesn't matter if you just lit up yesterday. Like, you're not a smoker because your identity has to change.
Exactly.
And I think for us, and this was brought up to me actually by Claudine we met for coffee.
Right.
And I think I posted on LinkedIn about it. She just said, like, you're an artist. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes we forget about that because we're pursuing our careers, we're doing the things. Maybe there's some art in insurance. I don't know, but I don't get the sense that it's fulfilling in the same way that the other creative pursuits are. But at the end of the day, our identity has never changed. Like, we are artists. And I think that that's just a good reminder to say out loud, and to whoever you are, whatever you identify with internally, no matter how far away it is from maybe what the outside world gets to experience on a daily basis, just remind yourself of that. Like, this is who I am. And how do you want to kind of move through the world in that way that's authentic?
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the way that she said that too, because instead of saying, hey, I'm a podcaster, I'm a writer, I'm a musician, hey, I'm an artist. And it just is all encapsulating. It captures all of that. It's just like, it's that big parachute. I do appreciate that.
It's to your point of the supporting beams. Like, that's literally our foundational element. That's how we think about things. It's how we approach things with that mindset. So we're not 13 anymore.
Nope.
So
no, but one thing I do want to say this, I do want to give you props. I know we're going a little bit off script here.
That's what we do, Toby.
We're riffing.
We're riffing.
We are artists, and I want to give you props for this lovely and ridiculously gotta have type of item that you've created in this poker table. This, ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Joe, my brother, has created something that I feel is a must have for any poker enthusiast. And that is this amazing poker table that you've created. And I really cannot wait for the launching of this and for people to really see this. It's unlike any poker table I've seen. I haven't seen anything quite like it. So, it's beautiful. So
thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Let me do a quick plug then. So rather than bore you with the details, because this is a music show, go to azoftables.com. That's AZOTH tables, TABLES.com. Check it out. And we'll leave it at that. Sign up.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
We could do a whole Riffs After Dark talking about that whole project. Okay. So your 13-year-old self is looking at Toby right now. What are they shaking their head at?
You said my 13-year-old?
Yeah. 13-year-old Toby's looking in the mirror and sees you, knows who you are and what you're doing. What is he like? Oh my God, he turned into a dad, or he turned into.
Yeah. I think the thing that probably would embarrass him is probably how willing to be vulnerable I am at this point. I think that because, back in that time, hip hop and machismo and all that being, this whole pressure to be super masculine and be tough. And I was already a smaller kid. So it was just like, you already have to ... do all the things. And so now it's like, okay, I'm not small anymore. And yet I am willing to volunteer and divulge and tell people about my failures and how I felt as that 13-year-old or as that 20-year-old who didn't know what the heck he was doing, or as a 30-year-old or as that new parent. And I'm willing to talk about, all of those trials, willingly. And I think that would make him feel uncomfortable. I know, because it makes me feel uncomfortable, at times now, but I realize that growth comes in the discomfort, so that I'm trying to grow. So
love that. That is beautiful. Okay. Let's lean into the songs that you're listening to, Toby. What's on your list?
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, Twiggy is a new song that's out by Remy Wolf. I enjoy myself some Remy. I didn't know how much I missed her until this song came out. So I'm super happy about that. There is an artist by the name of Baby Rose. I think she's got a voice that's unlike any other voice out there right now. I don't know anybody's.
Cool. Yeah.
It's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
It's just cool. So I'm listening to, those are the two artists I would say like right now, and still listening to Ethan French. I'm still listening to Olivia Dean, but those are the artists right now. It's like they have my full attention.
Love it. Here's what I've got. Have we ever talked about Nectarwood? I feel like you would just totally love her stuff.
Really?
It's Wood with an E on the end. Her new track is Talk to Me Summer. It's just, man, I think it will hit your E spot, Toby. I really do. I love her stuff. There's another cat that I want to do a deep dive on because I've only listened to a few tracks, but I like a lot of them. Otis Kane. Do you know Otis Kane at all?
Not for me.
Kane. So that's one. And then I was sleeping on a jazz vocalist by the name of Lauren Henderson, and she's been around for a while, but she came up and I've just been digging into her catalog, and I'm like, that's just a beautiful voice. So I think those are three. And then I don't know, there's a part of me that always loves when Jessie Ware comes out with a new stuff, because it just sort of hits that pop, almost like EDM vibe that just I think she's got a cool voice, and a little more mainstream, but I love it. So And the last one, I've only heard one track that I really like, so I want to do another deep dive. Is some I think it's a duo called Dojo Cuts, Cuts. So yeah, and most of these are, 100,000, 200,000 list streams on Spotify kind of art. Maybe they got one track that has 1 million or 2, but kind of bubbling under the surface. So I'm always curious which one of them are going to kind of take off.
Yeah, you bring up these artists that don't have, they're a couple 100,000 streams, and this one has more than just a couple 100,000. I mean, they're to 500,000, but I see them often. It's like they're always around, and it's Infinity Song is the name of the group, and they're always around. And I really like their sound. They're just different. It's almost like they're like a take from the 70s,
Really?
Yeah, it's like a four-part group. They're all related, brothers and sisters, and they're, they just have a very unique type sound. It's almost like, man, you guys just like stepped right out of the 70s, or like on some, hey, it's an old folk type song, and we're not going to do a whole bunch of harmony. Everyone's going to sing. We're going to sing in unison on this. And like watching their videos and stuff is cool. Now, it's been a couple of years since I watched them initially.
Yeah.
And now they, the one member, I think her name is, I'm going to get her name wrong. But anyway, one of the sisters, one of the siblings has gone on to make her debut, and she's making some noise, as well. So yeah. Infinity Song.
Nice. I will add that to the rotation. So
please do. Yeah, Momo Boyd. That's her name. That's the one. I knew I was going to find it.
Cool name.
Yeah. And she's actually doing she's got a little bit of it feels like a little country-ish type vibe, but definitely folk as well. But then they're not afraid to go like rock and rock out at any given moment. So
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, listeners, go check them out and also let us know what you are listening to. And
Please.
Toby, I think
sir.
we are done with our intergalactic venture, so let's get up out of here.
I agree. Shout out to everyone that has listened to this episode. Appreciate your time. Hope you enjoyed the conversations. You know that you can check us out on YouTube at Riffs on Riffs, right? You can always go to our website, riffsonriffs.com. That's RIFFS on riffs.com. You catch us on all the streaming platforms as well. And with that, we say peace. Keep listening. Huzzah.
Okay, real talk, shopping doesn't always boost your confidence. Sometimes you just want to put something on and think, yes, this is me. That's why Stitch Fix works. You take a quick style quiz, size, budget, what you're into, and a real human stylist sends pieces picked just for you. Try everything on at home, keep what you love, send back the rest. Shipping's free, no subscription required. Get $20 off at stitchfix.com/Spotify.